We need better officiating across the entire country in college football, period.
It's bad.
What's up, Fanout Crew? Colby and Jeff coming back at you for week 3 of the college football season for 2021, and had a pretty wild week again. Not quite as crazy as week 2, but just had some really just controversial games this past weekend. It's just crazy how bad the officiating is across the entire country. I can't believe some of this stuff that we saw. Jeff, I know you want to talk about our game, but I kind of wanted to talk about the officiating here for a second, just because this is the only job that I see, other than like politicians, that straight up have no accountability whatsoever. I mean, these guys can constantly be bad and nothing bad happens to them. You saw that how like Penn State just straight up lost a down while they were playing Auburn, right? It went from 2nd to 4th down. How does that happen in this day and age when they have all this technology? How does something like that happen?
It's remarkable that, you know, they have referees up in the box, the replay guys that they, you know, confer to go over this type of stuff, and when they mess it up along with it, like, I don't get it. It makes zero sense.
It's not like you can't replay it. You know, it'd be one thing if they didn't have replay and they were just looking at it after the fact and go, oh, we kind of messed that one up. But they do have replay. How are you going to have all this technology, have replay, and still get the call wrong? Plus, why do you need replay to count to 4? I mean, seriously, like, how does that happen?
Yeah,
how does that happen?
Makes zero sense.
So Penn State looked actually pretty good against Auburn. Auburn looked pretty good against Penn State too. So I actually really that was probably the best game of the week, other than the Bama Florida game, which ended up being a good game. We'll get into that in a minute, but. Just horrible officiating, especially when the SEC was involved. The SEC is hands down the best conference in the college football, has been for a long time, probably will be for a long time. Their officials suck, period.
Yes.
They've always been bad. And, you know, whether it's Memphis kicking a punt and then a Mississippi State player with his knee on the ground palming the ball, which should be considered possession. It's not like he just touched it. And then a Memphis player picks it up while the other ref is putting his hands up, calling for the clock to stop. And then he just says, oh, okay, well, I guess we're going to let this go. That can't happen, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that was horrible.
That can't happen.
No, and thinking back, like, how many times have you seen guys run down and the whole team surround the ball and one guy just reaches down and touches the ball and then they blow it dead? Like, that's how it should be. You shouldn't have to have pick it up or jump on top of it, or, you know, and if the punt team goes down and puts their hand on the ball and the ball's stationary,
why should it be
a down
for them?
Like, I get it whenever you're hitting it like to it where it doesn't go into the end zone.
Sure.
Like, that's still a live ball. But when the ball is done moving and you have a player physically put his hand on it, that's
you're clearly giving up on the play and just downing the ball. And it's like, I get it. It's just it's
well, what's more irritating is the back ref throws the beanbag saying that's where the ball's down at, and then goes to wave his hands over his head.
Stopping the clock,
In mid-wave hands, the guy picks it up, and he stands there like, oh, I didn't just... the ball's live. No, that's not. Once you start doing this, the play's dead.
Right.
Done deal.
Inadvertent whistles happen all the time on big plays, and they have to stop the play. But in this case, they didn't. And it was just like, I don't get it, man. I don't understand how it can happen. And the third down, the mystery third down thing is even a crazier thing, because it's like they ran one play. It was 2nd down. The guy on the chain, the down marker, has it as 3. Everybody on the field knows it's 2nd down.
Yep.
The officials shouldn't have to look to the sideline and look at the down marker. They have little like rubber bands on their fingers they keep track of. They move it every time the play changes. I've seen, it's a thing.
And they make a lot of money to not make mistakes like that. Yeah, it's not like they're reffing my kids, 7U football team.
This is not a intramural, rec league.
This is their career. They get paid a lot of money to do this.
Exactly. It's baffling how bad they are. Nothing's ever going to come from it. They're never going to get punished. The conferences are never going to come out and publicly, chastise their officials. If anything, they may get like a suspension and you don't even hear about it. They may just not, go next week or whatever. Yeah. They give them the week off, but you don't ever hear anything about it. It's just it's got to change, man. It's got to change.
Well, I want to touch back on what you said about Auburn and Penn State.
Yeah.
You said maybe they're both pretty decent teams. After the first couple weeks, I don't think there's any decent team that I've seen. I mean, look at Florida State and Notre Dame. Neither one of them are decent teams. I'm sorry.
Totally, yeah, I agree.
Look at UCLA beating LSU. I don't believe either one of those teams are any good. You know what I mean?
Until they play really impressive win, and then they lose to Fresno. And
until they start playing top level teams that you know that are good, it's hard to say who's good and who isn't.
Yeah, this is one of those years where it's like usually there's 8 to 10 teams that are really, really good, and there's usually 2 teams that are just kind of above those, you know. Yeah. This year it seems like there's maybe 1 or 2 teams that are above it, and everyone else is just kind of meh.
Yeah, look at Clemson. Weird. Look at Clemson barely put 14 points up against.
What is their problem, dude?
Yeah, I mean,
Uiagalelei sucks, dude. He can't read a defense.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good.
It's weird. It's just a weird year. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of these programs brought back players that they normally wouldn't have because of the free
COVID.
Yeah, the free COVID year or whatever. So you've got teams like Alabama, Clemson, you know, Ohio State. They had players leave early because they go to the NFL, but all the quote unquote smaller programs had players stay. I mean, UCLA's got 11 people on defense that's their entire defense. That's 4th year seniors or above.
Yeah,
5th year seniors and 6th year seniors. It's like
that's unreal.
Yeah. So this is going to be a crazy year, man. I don't know what to expect. And speaking of not knowing what to expect, let's get right into the Florida game. I got to be honest, man. I was super impressed by how you guys handled that first quarter that we put on you, because it looked like the game was just over. But credit to your crowd, especially your both lines of scrimmage. I've never seen Alabama get dominated for 3 quarters on both lines of scrimmage and still win the game. It was just a weird thing. I don't know what happened. Bryce Young looked good at some points, and other times he could have walked into the end zone. There's one play I think in the fourth quarter. It was like fourth and third. Second and goal.
Yeah, he rolled to the right and then wants help through the ball, and I'm like,
Stephen
why
Hawking
did you could have walked in
through there, dude? Yeah. I mean, it's he's got to learn when to tuck and run, and he's probably being coached not to, because Bama's backup quarterback situation is not good.
Right.
Still, no coach in America or in the world is going to give you crap for running for 2 yards for a touchdown. You're never going to get benched for scoring a touchdown. So I don't know. Speaking of bad officiating, I have never seen a worse officiated game in a long time overall. Both teams got bad calls. Both teams got bad no calls. It was early in the game. It was like a 3rd and 10. Bryce throws like a back shoulder to Mechie, and it should have been really good defense,
offensive pass interference. They called it on the defense.
I didn't see a need to call a flag on it at all.
Dude, if there was going to be a flag, it should have been on the offense, just because he had a little push off, which is receivers are going to do that.
Yeah,
it didn't warrant a flag, and it damn sure wasn't a defensive flag.
Right.
I couldn't believe that.
And it drives me crazy because you see receivers push off all the time, and they just don't call it anymore, and it's frustrating because I'm kind of a defensive guy. I mean, I like offense, but I want the game to be fair. I don't care, if it's low scoring or high scoring. I just want it to be consistent across the board with regard to officiating. And go back and watch Florida's last touchdown. It's like a 17-yard run. It was a good run, but it was either Branch or Malachi Moore's in position to make the play, and the dude grabs him and spins him around like a 180, and I'm just like, you can't allow something that egregious to not get called.
Yeah.
And then you can't make ticky-tack calls either. It's commit to something, just be fair on both sides. Both teams got sort of screwed with officiating. I don't know, man. I just don't. I can't stand it when they don't call holding. And Alabama doesn't get called for holding either. I mean, they never call holding on anybody anymore, and it's just. Call me an old, get off my lawn guy, but it's like holding is kind of like 3 seconds in basketball. You just don't see it anymore. It's like they don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, I want to touch on Emory Jones.
Yeah, he impressed the shit out of me, dude, considering what I've seen before.
Yeah, he did. There was times, kind of like Bryce Young, where I'm sitting there screaming at the TV, like, what the hell are you thinking? Like, you're throwing the ball into the dirt. Like, he had one little out route that he skipped really the ball.
I saw it.
And then he had some throws, it was like, that's the greatest throw I've ever seen. He's not, if he would be consistent for a whole game, I would say oh my God, this is it. He's what we need. But I so wanted them to put Richardson in so bad at points.
If he plays one series, you guys win the game.
Yeah.
He must have been hurt more than Mullen was letting on, because there's no other explanation for it.
I watched Mullen's post game interview, and he said that Richardson's hamstring is better, but it's not like a twisted ankle where it's going to get better. You could still play.
They linger a lot,
right? And he said he told Richardson before the game, and you're a pure backup. If you have to go in, you're going to be a drop back passer. You're not going to be able to scramble, and you're going to hand the ball.
And Bama needed this game more than Florida did, I think. Oh, yeah. So it's not like you guys losing to Alabama is going to hurt your season.
Yeah,
if you guys win all your games, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, I see us beating everybody. Georgia's going to be another true test because their defense is really, really good.
I'm still waiting for them to Georgia. You know what I mean? Like I'm waiting for Kirby to do his boneheaded thing where he loses to Tennessee or something out of the blue, and it's like, well, there it is. You know.
But I believe if we play like we played last night, we should be able to beat Georgia, and hopefully we'll be able to play y'all again in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna make it, man. I think Ole Miss is gonna give Bama's defense fits.
Ole Miss is gonna be tough.
I'm not concerned with Texas A&M. I'm not. I'm just. I wasn't.
They haven't showed me much.
I wasn't before the season, but Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin just doesn't care. He's ruthless, dude. He's on offense.
He's definitely a risk taker. He reminds me of Les Miles back when Les Miles was at LSU.
but competent.
Right. But can call good offensive plays and not just go down for every fourth down conversion.
Right. Florida really impressed me with their ability to just refuse to quit. I mean, Alabama had several chances to just put that game away yesterday, and credit Florida for just not letting them.
Yeah, the way I look at it is Alabama beat us in the first quarter, and then we won the rest of the second, third, and fourth.
I think the crowd had a lot to do with it. If that game is played in Bryant-Denny, you probably see the rest of the game.
It could have been a blowout.
Yeah, Bama probably wins by 3 touchdowns if it's. Yeah. But that's the whole point. Like, it wasn't played in Bryant-Denny. We had to go in there and to a very hostile environment. Bryce Young's first true road start. I mean, he played in Atlanta against Miami, but they obviously are garbage, and that's a neutral site anyway. So it's a testament to Alabama's grit for hanging in there and winning that game. I don't love our defense, but it is what it is, man.
Well, we'll
see how it goes.
I told you last week when we talked about this game that we were going to lean heavy on the run.
And I think we both knew that. Yeah. But
I was just surprised how well we were able to run it against you guys. I knew our running game's good, and our line has gotten worlds better at run blocking and pass blocking for that instance. But I was very surprised that we were able to control y'all's our defensive line the way we did.
I had this as a 10-point win for Bama. I said that in our preview last week, but I thought it was going to be a real close game until we pull ahead at the end with a late score, and that's almost what happened.
Yeah, it was just reverse. Y'all pulled ahead at the beginning, and then we slowly got back up.
Yeah, well, we also should have scored a touchdown. We talked about it, I think, where Bryce just should have run the ball.
Yeah.
And he'd been walking in, but he didn't. We had to settle for field goal, and
Imagine if we would have made that extra point, it would have been a completely different game.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I watched it again this morning. This game changed on 3 plays. The missed extra point obviously was a big one. The other one was 4th and 6th, and you guys were down 21-3, and you went for it because you had to. Right. And Jones throws a pass that wasn't really catchable, but it was catchable enough to where our guy got in the way of the receiver, and it was interference, and that gave you a first down, and you come down and score. If we stop you there, it's our ball because it was 4th down. Bama probably wins running away. Okay, yeah. And then there was also, I can't believe Bama gave up a 99-yard drive, especially when it was 3rd and 10 on Florida's 1-yard line.
What a moron to try to just let the ball roll. Whenever that happened,
he was doing.
I was watching my brother. It's like, that's out of the 1. He's like, no, it's not. That's a touchback. I said, no, it's not, Toby. Yeah. He touched the ball and it rolled into the field of play and rolled out of bounds at the half-yard line.
If I'm a special teams coach in college football, I tell my players, put your foot on the 2-yard line And if you take a step back, you're sitting on the bench. If it goes over in college football, if it goes into the end zone, it is down. It does not have to be touched.
25 free yards.
Right. You're giving up a quarter of the field.
Yeah.
It's like, take it. Why he tried to field it, he caught it in the end zone and then let it roll out. And I'm like, that's not good. But I can't believe Bama gave up 3rd and 10 from their own 1. DeMarco Hellams is a good safety against the run, but he's not very good against the pass. I don't know what he was doing on that play. He like overran it. I'm like, dude, all you got to do is get in the guy's way, and it's a stop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let me touch on one more thing. How bad is Gary Danielson? Like that, the announcing crew. Oh my God, man. Dude, I cannot stand. Like, I didn't even think Gary Danielson played football. Like, I didn't even. I'm like, there's no way this guy played football. And to come to find out, he played in the NFL at quarterback.
Yeah, he was good
for numerous years. Yeah. And I'm like, how does he not know stuff about football? Like, there was actually a point wherever Whittemore reached out and then, for the first down and then got tackled. And Gary Danielson says, oh, no, his knee has to be down when the ball's out. And I'm like, bro, no, it does not. Like, you don't know what you're – and then the their little referee that comes in and talks to him about the rules. Sarator. Yeah, he was like, no, Danielson, Gary, that's the right call. Oh, well, thanks for clearing that up. I'm like, dude, I've never played in the NFL, and I know more rules. Gotten to him. Yeah, so early in his career, like, here's the thing. He's still a very good analyst when looking at, like, preparation and looking at film study. Right. Like, he knows what plays are coming. He'll usually call it out. He's not as good as, like, Tony Romo is the best I've ever seen at that, where he's like, oh, they're going to call this play, and boom. Danielson's a very good analyst, but when he tries to inject himself into the game and harp on about, like, he will not let targeting calls go. He's like, oh, if they'd called targeting three quarters ago, the game would be different. It's like, bro, they didn't call it. Deal with it, and targeting calls as a whole other. We can make a separate video on that. Like, there won't even be a mention about a targeting, like on a hit, and then it'll be a replay, and he'll start harping on that should have been a targeting call.
It's like, bro, don't inject yourself into the game.
He thinks if two people's heads collide, like even if they're running sideways and their helmets touch, that it should be targeting. I'm like, that's not what the rule is in place for.
Yeah, it's a stupid rule, but I mean, the rule needs to be there for safety, but the way that it's currently implemented is dumb. Like, no one knows what is and what isn't targeting. The refs don't even know. The one in last night where the Auburn guy got ejected, the Penn State guy was reaching for the touchdown. Is the Auburn guy supposed to let him score? Yeah. I mean, it's.
Well, another thing that really irritates me with targeting is when you have a running back and a linebacker or any defensive player, and the running back lowers his head, for the impact. What's the defense guy supposed to do? Or if the defensive guy's going down and has already got his head down, and then the running back lowers his head and they hit helmets, it's automatically the defensive guy's fault. It's like, this is so stupid.
Yeah. It's just more bad officiating, man. They have all this technology and they can't agree on what's in the Bama Florida game, where it's Jace McClellan is going for a first down. It was like 3rd and like 8 or something, and he is tackled about a half yard short, I thought, but they called it a first down on the field. They go back and look at review, and there's no review that's actually straight on the line. It's all at angles, right? You can't really tell where it is, and it's like, it's supposed to be definitive proof. Like, everybody in the stadium should be able to look at it and agree, okay, that's clearly down or not down or whatever. Right. Well, it wasn't definitive. They overturned it, and it's like, Bama ended up scoring a touchdown anyway, but that isn't the point. It's like, get the call right. If you're going to get it wrong on the field, at least get it right on replay, and they can't do it. I don't understand how you have all this technology and you still make mistakes. It's just like, what? Like, don't take replay out of the game. It makes the game goes by faster. Replays takes 5 minutes sometimes. It's like, take it out of the game if you're not going to get the call right.
I want to touch back on the Florida-Alabama game. I would love to see a lot of these sports announcers eating crow come tomorrow, just for saying Florida wouldn't have a shot, that Alabama's going to rout Florida. It's not even going to be close. 14.5 points is being generous to Florida.
Yeah, I told you, I was like, I don't think it's going to be.
And I told everyone, I said that Florida will surprise a lot of people because they are a very good, sound football team. And Dan, you can never count Dan Mullins out of a game because he's such an offensive genius. We're going to score points. We're not gonna get held to 3 points. If we do, something's terribly wrong. We have the athletes to compete with anybody in the league.
Yeah, your lines of scrimmage kept you in that game. If you had a even halfway competent quarterback, you guys would have won. And here's the thing: Emory Jones played the best game he's played in a Florida uniform yesterday, as far as I've seen anyway. And he still was just like
he was mediocre at best at times.
Yeah, he was better. He was better than the averages. But it's like if you had, Matt Corral, who I might add Dan Mullen ran off to get Emory Jones on the team, like. He's probably not liking that decision, but recruiting is not an exact science. So anyway, just another crazy week in college football. I think we can just keep looking forward to these every week. I mean,
next week I will be season. At the Tennessee Florida game.
Really?
On my birthday? Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Me, Toby, and Brandon are going.
Take some cool videos of that. We'll put some B-roll in and stuff. So
it'll be if we film, it'll probably be Sunday night because I'll be driving back Sunday.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, have fun there. Congrats on getting to see Tennessee get their ass kicked.
Yeah,
I've done that a couple times. Nothing stinks like a big orange.
Can't spell citrus without UT, baby.
I haven't heard that one. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Let us know, how we're doing with these videos. We're still kind of learning and we're working on some technical stuff and different hardware and stuff like that. So we appreciate you joining us. As always, fan out. See you guys.